I only put it on mute when I talk, or just leave it on mute until I say something?
All right, we're absolutely live. You should only unmute it when you want to say something.
Okay.
Okay, for sure. And hey. All right. Waiting for people to come into the Zoom room. I see a human called Joe Smith. And hey, what's going on, Joe Smith? How art thou? Joe Smith.
Good, and you?
Let me
How
see
are
you,
you doing?
man. Hey,
How you doing?
let me see you. Hey, let me see you.
I'm naked. I can't really do that, right?
There we go, man. I don't know. All right. So here we go. I think I'm going to lock the door. Some creeps out there, but we are here to talk about Kevin Samuels. We're here to talk about Kevin Samuels. And we have the brother Jason DeWitt. We have Gerald Chambers, and we have Mara Davis, MSRD, LDN, all the letters, here to talk about the original high value man. Shout out to my people who are watching on YouTube Live. Tell somebody, tell your auntie, tell your grandmother, tell your brother and your father-in-law, tell all your people that we are here live on awkwardblacktribe.com. And so go ahead. I'm going to remind people to do this and subscribe to the tribe. Go ahead, press that subscribe button and press that like button. But I'm here with some people that I really honor their opinions. And everybody on the call, we've been rocking for a while. At this point, there are no first timers here, so I have high expectations. I have high expectations here, and so as you all know, Kevin Samuels, YouTube sensation, also a relationship guru, a man who was not without controversy. He passed away on Thursday, and before it was even confirmed that he was dead, people on social media did not hold back as far as how they felt about the man. So we are here to talk about that. We're here to talk about him. We are here to talk about his message, how people perceive him. We want to be very respectful, but we also want to be very honest. And for my people who are watching on YouTube Live right now, go ahead and say something in the chat. I want to know that you are here. All of the questions, please be extremely active in the chat on YouTube. All the questions and comments that you have, don't hesitate to post them in the chat on YouTube. I always read through them, and I will try to get to them and announce them to our panelists. So please say something and be vocal for my people who are in the chat on YouTube. I am checking it, okay? So look, man, for my panelists here, and we have a few people on a panel who you don't see their faces. They're incognito, but that's okay. We're going to try to get their voices on as much as possible. Yo, check it out, man. I just want to put it out there. How do you all feel about Kevin Samuels? I'm going to center that right there. Just how do people feel about Kevin Samuels? Don't make me call on somebody. I see you, Mar.
I mean, it's not like I loved him because I didn't really follow him that much. I just, what people would say about him, I just kind of felt like if you're gonna like tear people down, can you at least have some basis for it? Like some real like experience or some kind of knowledge of something other than just your opinion. So I just felt like he got a lot of credit for being so negative to Black women.
Okay. You got a lot of credit for being so negative. All right. How else thank you for that. So we're still, how do people feel? How do people feel about the man, Kevin Samuels? What up, folk? Any other takes on that?
I thought he figured out a way to rig the internet. I thought
Uh-huh.
he was pretty smart with that.
Uh-huh.
I didn't ride with him though, but I thought he, went from being basically a nobody to somebody, and he figured out a formula for providing what the internet really is all about: controversy, opinions, entertainment, that sort of thing. He happened to do that at the expense of women, but I thought he figured out something. I don't necessarily agree with him, but he did figure out something.
See,
So you don't think that he subscribed to what he was dishing out?
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I just feel like he figured out that the algorithms, the internet algorithms, are programmed for controversy. You get more engagement with controversy, and he figured out a formula to exploit that.
Whether he believed it or not.
Yeah, whether you believe it or not.
okay. So do you commend him for that, Gerald, for being able
That
to?
part,
Yeah.
people are complicated. That part I can commend him for.
Okay.
But the other part of it, like I said, I didn't roll with it.
Okay, for sure. And that is Cassandra asking that question. Cassandra, how you feel about Kevin Samuels? How did you feel about Kevin Samuels? As we welcome Veronica to the chat. Hey, Veronica, how you doing?
I don't have any, I don't know if I have any feelings one way or the other, because I watched more of Affion Crockett's parodies of him. So that's where I got my information about what he was trying to say to females. So, I didn't really watch him. I agree with Mara that he was very negative, but, I didn't watch him enough to, know if he was really trying to help females, but say it in a harsh way, but maybe he was trying to help. See, I don't know. I don't watch him enough to even comment on that.
Okay, cool. So how are people feeling? Just checking in. Anyone else on Kevin Samuels and how you feel about him in general? And anyone else?
Is it okay? I can go?
Yeah, speak your piece.
I feel that yes, he was negative, but truth to be said, it was women that called in asked, so it goes to show that he did have an audience that was attracted to someone talking and advising them at that for that particular style. So yeah, I wouldn't approve of it, but I agree with the other gentleman said earlier. He was smart enough to understand the algorithm, and based on his controversy being the ad norm, that's how he was able to raise his popularity, because everyone talked about him. But again, he didn't call the women, they call and they asked.
They call and they ask. There you go. Okay. All right. So women call and they ask. Yeah. Very, very, very true. Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'm so all right. Anyone here, anyone here besides myself find any value in his message, in his messaging? Anyone here find any value in his messaging? I see a hard head shake for Mara.
I mean, the only reason why I actually listened to him for the first time ever was because I was getting my hair braided, and the woman that braids hair likes him. So we were listening to the talk about Jada Pinkett Smith and how he called her a narcissist and gaslighted Will Smith and all that to go on to do what he was doing. And I don't know. I think for me, it's like, how much can you listen to somebody tear you down and then find good in it? Like how much of it can you listen to find good in someone tearing you down and telling you how inadequate you are? I don't know how that's supposed to build you up and help you be better in relationships.
Okay.
But again, now listening to Gerald talk, I'm thinking it was just about marketing and about money.
Right.
So I'm going to say whatever I need to say that's going to get my marketing out, my money up, and that's pretty much it.
Right. Okay. So I see. I hear that you spoke about him tearing people down, tearing women down. I understood why he was necessary. There were a lot of people who were in the game, I guess, before him, pre-pandemic, because he just pretty much rose to prominence during the pandemic, like the past few years. And there were a lot of panderers in the game. There was, Derek Jackson or Mark Lamont Hill, are these people that just say things that women want to hear, but that is not necessarily how men feel. I should also say that his actual sessions with women, like he said the girl was what, bigger than Emmett Smith or whatever, and how much she weighed and this, that, the other, like the things that went viral, it was cringe inducing for me. Like I didn't necessarily like that. However, the interviews, like for example, he did an interview on the Joe Budden podcast, he did an interview on No Jumper, and it allowed me some insight into his intentions as to what he was trying to do. And I think like what Gerald said, he had to market it. Perhaps he got caught up in the marketing and the attention that he got from saying these, for the insults. But I think that his intention was to bring the Black family together, to bring Black men and women together. And I think that he should be lauded for that approach.
I got to throw down the challenge flag.
Not necessarily,
right there.
hold on, not necessarily that approach, but I think that he should be lauded for his intention, for that intention, because it was very rare that someone was actually speaking honestly from the perspective of a man. I thought that they were saying what women wanted to hear. Yes, Gerald, I'm ready for the pushback. Yes.
I got to throw down the challenge flag because I thought he was pitting the sexes against each other, men against women.
Mhm.
I mean, it's hard to tell the population that's probably the most educated in the country that they need to be subservient to a man. That's hard. That's hard to say, right? That a woman shouldn't get an education.
He didn't say that. He didn't say women shouldn't get an education.
Well, he said that an education interfered with their ability to be marketable to men. He was saying that, and that women needed to be subservient, and that's a problem. That's the basic problem that men and women have in relationships. Things have changed. Women have money, power, education, and so we have to be willing to explore our new role, not try to dominate women.
So I think part of the problem that he was coming up against is that, so women will say that like it's a new woman, it's a modern woman, but they want the relationship of their grandparents. Like they want a marriage that lasted like their grandmother's marriage. And so what gives? Like if you want this relationship, things have changed. Well, your grandmother was, it's almost a curse word now, but that S word, that subservient word.
But I want the relationship like my granddaddy. I want to be able to just work and not know what's going on in the house, not operate a vacuum cleaner, not cook, not know how to take care of children, not know what everybody's schedule is. That's the relationship I want.
So what gives though? What gives? How do you make that work?
What gives is times have changed. And African American relationships, Black men and African American relationships are experiencing something similar to what white people are experiencing in our society. Black people are gaining more freedom, more rights, and white people need to explore their new role. Just like men, we need to explore our new role. It's not that women don't want us. It's that we have a new role now that we gotta learn how to embrace. She doesn't need me to be the strong, silent type. She needs me to be able to do some housework. She doesn't need me to provide for her. She has her own money. She needs me to listen to her. Right. She needs to be able to have some input in terms of the way the relationship is going. and not like my father, my granddad. Talk to the hand. I'm the man, right? That kind of stuff. They're not tolerating that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But,
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead. That's SAS poem, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I wanted to answer your first question. Anyone have any value of what he said? And I wanted to say yes to a certain degree, because I did see an episode where I think the young lady had multiple children and she really wasn't, easy on the eyes or whatever, but she wanted something, imagine. And I think he was giving her the truth. You have to understand that you got to bring something to the table as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that particular segment, I was like, wow, you talking and telling this woman something that maybe the average guy would not have said anything. But I feel from that, she needed to hear it, because I agree with him. I was like, oh, no, you just can't say, oh, I want this, I want that. But you got to understand, well, what do your partner want? And is he's willing to take care of all these different kids all these kids that has different fathers, but you want the prize. So with that particular episode, I was like, oh, he ain't doing nothing but telling her the truth. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Okay. Sometimes he tells the truth. I think he tells his version of the truth, at least. And okay, for sure.
But I like what Gerald said, though. I really do, because I feel like that's an evolved statement. Like, you got to be current with the times, I mean, I don't know the statistics, but I do know, from what I understand, Black women are twice as likely to have more education and go further than African-American men. If you want to have a partner that looks like you might be more educated than them, right? So if you're more educated, then maybe you're making more money. If you're making more money, maybe you're working more hours. So then if you're the woman, how are you supposed to then come home and do all the housework and care for the children and do all that stuff if you're working and you're an executive? It's now about partnership. Mm-hmm. Marriage has to evolve to partnership, not subservience. I mean, nobody wants to be, and I'm assuming, I don't know, but even women that had those subservient relationships, did they really want to? Maybe it just was what they had to do because they didn't have other options. But I don't think anybody wants to be subservient to somebody else. Now, if you trust somebody and let them be the head of the household because you believe in what they're doing and the vision for the home, that's a different thing. But subservience, I don't think anybody wants to be subservient to anybody. That sounds like inadequacy or inferiority when you say that word.
Well, again, I just say that to each his own. I mean, I'm not going to say, but I had some girlfriends that do some dumb old stuff. And I'm like, really? You the breadwinner going to subject to this? Because why? She had a boy where she wanted to feel needed, which is not my style, but I will. Everybody doesn't do the same thing.
Okay,
and
there you go.
That's right.
Feel like a man is a man. And I do know of men that, hey, you can stay home after you have a kid. I want you to stay our child. I want you to be able to stay home for 5 years and everything else, or however many years he may let it. But it's not being subservient. It's just that he may feel like, okay, since my wife or my girlfriend or significant other had the baby, I want her to enjoy the child or what have you. And somebody on the outside said, oh, you having that role where you home and cooking and cleaning, but they don't really understand the whole dynamic. Over.
Okay. Okay. Roles have changed, and then I'm hearing from SAS. I'm hearing from you that different people want different things, and I know that a lot of women called into his show. So I would assume that the ones that called in wanted to hear his perspective, or they wanted to make it work. Perhaps they had a old-fashioned idea of what a relationship should be, but the times have changed, and so it's a lot of shifting, a lot of mixing and matching that needs to happen. Let me get back to Kevin Samuels, guys, and so he passed away, and I don't know if people I don't know how people feel about it, but from a personal perspective, I looked at this, the coverage online was pretty intense, man, like what people were saying and some of the tweets that went viral. And I wanted to, there's a debate going on about, some people are saying he was disrespectful and, just because he died basically doesn't mean that we should like show respect or take the high road, right? While other people are saying like, yo, he's dead. This is out of pocket. And I'm wondering, how do people feel about the reaction to his passing? Because it was like a rumor for like a day, like for a long time, like for a whole day, it was a rumor. And then it was finally confirmed like the next day. And so I'm just wondering, how do people feel about that, about the response to his passing?
I got a moment of silence for him.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. The person and the behavior are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I can definitely, I hate to see that he passed away, but I didn't necessarily believe his ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were problematic in numerous ways.
Okay. What else? Any
What do people say? Because I'm not big on social media, Twitter, all that. Like, what were the camps that were so polar? Like, what were they saying? Like,
I got you. I'm gonna speak to that right now. I am going to I'm going to show you all a tweet that went super viral. And here it is. I am now sharing my screen. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Please like this and subscribe to the channel. Like this, and everybody in the chat on YouTube, put all of your questions in that chat box, please, and I will read them. But first, I'm going to read this tweet by Mr. Ernest Owens, and it says, Kevin Samuels has made a career off of shamelessly disgracing Black women for profit. He emboldened the most toxic individuals to project tired and harmful narratives about Black women, dead or alive. What a disgraceful life to live. That's all I've got for that misogynist. So this, okay,
wow.
but listen. It's one thing that this gentleman felt the need to tweet that before it's even confirmed that he was dead. But Google centered that. So when you looked up Kevin Samuels, you saw this. You scrolled down and you saw this. That was the first thing that you saw when you Googled trying to figure out whether he was dead or alive. You saw this. So people wondering, oh, who's Kevin Samuels? They direct you to this. This thing got tens of thousands of likes. This was like in the beginning that this screenshot was taken, but this thing got tens and thousands of likes. And so there was other ones. News One had the quote. They said, the misogynist Kevin Samuels is rumored to be dead. I was like, wow, the misogynist Kevin Samuels, like, okay. So yeah, so things like that. I'm just wondering, how do people?
That's inflammatory labeling. That will generate interest.
Aha. Okay.
It's not far off though.
The AI, the AI is looking at it and crunching it and figuring out what statement can we put up that will generate the most interest.
When a person is dying though, or when a person is rumored to be dead, it struck me as like, whoa, it struck me as you said Kevin Samuels was pitting the sexes against one another. I thought that the algorithm, whoever centered that, Google, I thought that they were being very malicious in disregarding just the life of a person. Like it sounded like freaking like drill rap. I don't know, like a young Chicago rapper, like I'm smoking on my ops. Like that's what it seemed like. It seemed like they were trying to pit people against one another, just like, yo, like
that's the point I'm making. That's what they do. Because that leads to more engagement.
Okay. I feel like that's what they do when it comes to us. I don't feel like that's what they do across the board.
I agree with that, but I just felt on a human side, should have had at least some level of respect. Here it is, this man died just a few days Mother's Day, and his mother had to deal with it. I mean, the human empathy part was just tasteless from anybody that's speaking empathy. Somebody just lost their life. They were just as bad as him, as far as I'm concerned, maybe worse.
Okay. Just as bad as him, maybe even worse. Okay, for sure. I hear that. Anyone else? I heard Mara say, well, what'd she say, Mara? That it's not far from the truth.
No,
it is.
I think the saddest part is that he died with the woman that came home with him, but I think the saddest part is he died alone, for all this stuff that he was saying. I mean, the man died alone. You're a relationship expert, you know women so well, and you're alone.
And your mom found out on the internet?
Right,
exactly.
right.
Like what kind of mess is that? What kind of family life do you have?
Whew.
Does anybody know how he died? What happened to him?
He had a heart condition, right?
He said he could hear the lady's cholesterol over the phone, but I wonder if he could hear his.
Oh man.
Did he say that to somebody, that he could hear their cholesterol over the phone?
Yeah, overweight woman. He said that to her. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That is so just.
So I know there was something going on with his heart. You said that all right, so there's been a lot of talk around this, like he died alone. What do you mean? Like he died with a woman? Like what do you mean?
He died in a situation that was meaningless. I mean, so let's just be clear. He wasn't talking about how to have a sustainable long-term relationship, I think, based on what I know about him. So maybe he died in the fashion that he was speaking about, for the moment. Whatever,
Yeah, he no, he had
he survived cancer. Did anyone hear that?
He what? Say it again. We can't. You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, I heard there was rumors that said that he had survived cancer years in the past. He had survived cancer.
Okay.
Anyone hear that?
Okay.
Yeah, I think my mother said something like he had heard something like that also, and then Roger said he had a heart condition, so that's what I was trying to hear more of the medical background, because when I saw him on YouTube, he appeared to be healthy and well dressed and did not look like he would be passing away anytime soon.
Yeah, he had. Well, the sister that was there with him said he had an irregular heartbeat. She said that she's a nurse, and I don't know the specifics of why the heartbeat was irregular, how long it's been irregular, but he complained of chest pains, and then he collapsed. That's what's being stated right now. I don't know more than that. That's what's being put out there. But I've heard other people say that it was rather shameful that he died with a quote unquote, people were saying, a jump off. And some people even went so far as to say it's hypocritical. and
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Wow, man, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, no one is expecting. People engage in this behavior. People do one night stands. People hook up with people that they meet. They don't expect to die in the process. Like I don't know. And then there's that. And then also, as I see Veronica Matthews, hey, how you doing? Also, on top of that, we don't know what a relation, that could have been his one. We don't know where the relationship could have gone. He could have been building with that Instagram model. Who knows? That could have been the one for him. We'll never know.
I was thinking.
It was the last one for him.
It was the last one. It was the last one for him. So there you go. This guy's got zingers. Gerald Chambers. He does this for real, by the way. He's a licensed marriage and family therapist. By the way, look up Gerald.
Oh wow, Gerald, good to know.
He's not.
You're being real quiet over there. I mean, I really want to hear the truth from you now.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, Miss Palm, you're about to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say, but you can look at the other way. I was looking at this. If he had survived cancer, and then to me, depending on your faith, I feel like God gave him another chance. And for him to be so negative and, from what some people say, and that happened, I hate to say karma, but you got to be careful about what you say or what you do, because not everyone was able to receive what he said constructively. It was more concrete in it, or what have you. That's all.
Okay, I got you. And let me go to the chat real quick. Shout out to my people in the chat. Super dupe ninja says, how do you differentiate between an uncomfortable truth and judgment? Okay, there is a difference between constructive criticism and judging someone. Thank you for that. Samantha agrees with Mara on a point that you made earlier. And super dope ninja says the girl that he was with was fine. Marquesino says Kevin was an advocate for marriage and often said he wanted to see more Black men and women get married. All right.
Dang, did he say that? Wow.
Yeah, he wanted to he wanted to preserve the Black family. So shout out to my people in the chat. Ask more questions, make more comments. Be sure to like this if you have not done so already. I want to say he had been married twice. Kevin Samuels had been married twice.
Really?
He had been married twice. Yes, indeed. And so I'm thinking maybe he wanted to take his time.
Absolutely, he had been married twice.
He's been
two
married
wives, and he wasn't able to stay with any of them.
But Jason, they were both Black women.
Okay, yeah. So, and the jump off was also a Black woman. So,
consistency.
Is it possible? Is it possible that maybe he had a little help, or maybe some foul play played in there?
Oh, I heard the 911 call. I don't know. I don't work. I'm not a criminologist or whatever. Anything's possible. It didn't feel like foul play to me, but I don't know.
That's what somebody else said, Jason, that I talked to. They said that this was retribution for all the women that were obese and overweight and everybody he was putting down. And he was with the nurse at his final hour. Perhaps maybe she knows how to end someone's life without it looking like that. That was something I heard, but I don't know. And I hope not, to God, I hope not. That would be terrible.
Shout out to all my conspiracy theorists out there. And Samantha asked, was he with a Black woman when he died? Just interested. Super Dupe Ninja said, pretty sure she was Hispanic. Hey, Hispanic people can be Black. Just FYI, you can be both. You know what I mean? They got Black Puerto Ricans and Dominicans out there. I'm just saying. Shout out to my people in the chat though. Like this, please like this if you have not done so already, and subscribe to the tribe. I want to put a question out there for my people in the chat and for my people on the call. Do you think that he was a misogynist? As of late, I think misogynist literally means a person who hates women, right? Do you think that he was a misogynist? And
no.
All my people, okay. Theo B, does your camera work?
Yeah, it might work.
Okay, there he goes. All right, Theo B says no. Theo B says no, he's not a misogynist. Speak on it.
Well, you know what? I think that one thing I want to say about Kevin Samuels, he's actually helped me and my daughter's relationship. My daughter was listening to him one day, and she heard something. She heard Kevin Samuel tell a young lady, how are you going to ask me for advice? She asked her, did she have a father? The young lady said, yeah. She said, ask your father. Your father is a man that's going to be able to tell you the truth. He's not going to lie to you. And my daughter realized that. My daughter contacted me. She apologized. We got together and we talked every single day. So I have to say thank you.
Wow.
So I think that the man speaks. He speaks his mind. He speaks powerful. And you know what? The truth is uncomfortable. Ooh. It really is.
Okay.
If truth is uncomfortable, in order for you to grow, you have to hear things you don't want to hear.
Okay.
You know, you don't want to hear. You know what? If you are a little bit overweight, hey, you may be fat. I may have to say it another way. You know, if you don't dress well, I may have to tell you that another way. All these things are uncomfortable, but all these things help you grow.
Okay.
They help you grow. So yeah, you may think that he was dogging out women or whatever and stuff, but these women were calling. They were calling, and everybody thinks highly of themselves. Everybody think they were a 10, and everybody think themselves they had it going on. And he was just explaining to them that, listen, a high valued man doesn't need you. He wants you. He's already got something. All he wants is peace. You know, women, you know, I don't want to go further with it, but women should try to make a man's dick hardest of his life. Okay, put it to you another way. All right, and that's what you need. Okay, I'm so sorry.
We're respectful.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do that again.
We want to make sure we're respectful. But
I'm not gonna do that again. But it needed to be said though. That's as far as I go as far as the language and stuff. But it's the truth though. A high value man is definitely somebody who's got his stuff together. And yeah, I heard somebody say subservient. It ain't about being subservient. It's about being able to connect with the right man. Because I'm a leader. And any of these women in the room that make more money than me or whatever that is guess what? We in the room together. Somebody comes knocking through that door. Her natural role is to get behind me. Oh. And I'm gonna step forward and put my life on the line. And that's day one, date one. So anybody want to step forward and say they're powerful women, they're executive women, they're making a whole bunch of money, let somebody come barreling through that door. Where do you stand there? A man's natural role is to protect his family. His role is to protect his woman, and that's the truth.
Okay.
So a man.
Okay.
We got some women on here. Do women feel protected?
Hey! I saw. Listen. I saw a lot of hair flips coming from Mara. I don't know. I don't know the symbolism of a hair flip, but I saw a lot of hair flips while he was talking, and I'm just wondering, what does that hair flip mean? How do you feel about what the brother Theo said? And then Gerald posed another question: do you feel protected? And that's for Mara. That's for Veronica. That's for SAS as well, for all the women on the call. Go ahead.
I would love to hear what some of the ladies have to say. Definitely, I'll hold my comment to the end.
Okay. She wants the back cleanup. It's all good.
No, so I don't have a problem with what I shouldn't say I don't have a problem with what Theo said, but I think some of it needs to be listened to and not just sort of like jumped on attack mode. Okay. Because I think, what he's saying is what was trying to be presented. A lot of women do think they're 10s out there. And what he's trying to tell you is, look, you probably are a 7, you may be a 6, you may be a 5.
At best. Now I'm just playing.
But they don't want to hear that. And when he's telling individuals, what do you bring to the table? Some of those ladies couldn't even answer that. I'm funny. That's not what he's asking you. What are you bringing to the table? You want someone to bring something to the table. So what are you bringing? Okay. And what he was trying to say is, okay, well, you live in an apartment. Well, maybe men want somebody that owns a home. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And like what Theo's saying, there are millions of people in this world, okay? And maybe you need to find someone that measures up to what you want, because that man isn't going to want someone necessarily that is possibly living in an apartment or doing whatever.
Okay.
But they don't want to hear that. But that's the reality. And then the whole reality of this is it's coming from a man. And sometimes maybe you need to listen to what men are saying.
Cassandra.
And not listening to your girlfriends all the time.
Black man too. Yeah, that's never popular to listen to a black man.
Now I get it that he was saying it in the harshest, forms. But some of that, and like I said, I didn't listen to him a lot, but some of that was the reality.
Okay. Respect. That's Cassandra. That was Cassandra speaking, by the way. I
You
see.
got to keep saying my name, but okay.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Always sassy, always getting on me, whatever. That's the secret voice, by the way. I won't say her name again. That's incognito. Anyway, so we have, I see SAS Palm has her hand up, but I also saw earlier that Veronica had taken her microphone and she wanted to say something. I want to hear from her, but first, shout out to my people in the chat, because Always Magnificent says he was just as much a misogynist as women feel toward men. I don't like his tone in some of his earlier work, but he was able to balance it out later, which I appreciate, and advocate for both genders. And then Samantha Madison says, nope, I don't feel protected. So keep the comments and questions coming in the chat, and please like this, my people in the chat. I'm glad that you are here. With no further ado, I'm going to go with Veronica and then Miss SAS Palm. Go ahead, Veronica.
Okay, so there's so much has been said already that I wanted to harp in on, but do I actually think he was a misogynist? I would say no. Okay. I think he was a man with a strong opinion and probably just my opinion, but probably a higher opinion of himself than he really needed to have. However, you have to have your own confidence and you have to own it. And if he considered himself a high value man and he wanted to tell women how to attract or be involved with or be in a successful relationship with a high value man, those are his opinions. And, from a high value woman's perspective, there wasn't anybody talking back to him to kind of balance that equation. So it would have been nice if maybe there was a counterpart or whatever that he would have brought in occasionally to hear from the high value woman's perspective.
Like Wendy Williams.
To hear. I'm sorry?
Like if he would have Wendy Williams on.
Oh, Lord. But then when you talk about, the gentleman posed the question of, do you feel safe? And I think that, that's a whole different conversation for another day. The Black woman, I guess, is really exposed and is really a subject of a lot of criticism and harshness, and really from a violent standpoint as well, even in the general community. So yes, I feel safe. I feel that if I am ever in a situation and a Black man is around, that even if he doesn't know me, he's going to have my back. Amen. I honestly feel that. Okay. Now, is that going to be the truth? I pray to God that it is. Okay. And, so when it comes to Kevin, and no, I'm not celebrating his death. And I definitely didn't agree with everything he said, nor particularly the way he said it. But I do believe the truth hurts. And I think self-awareness is so huge. And if everyone would do their work that it takes to understand who you are and how you show up in the world, then he would have been a non-factor. Because you know who you are, you know what value you bring, you know what you bring to the table. So you don't necessarily need someone else to tell you what you should bring, or that you're not bringing what who you are.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that for sure. Hey, Miss Palm.
Hey, you know what, Veronica, I really agree with everything. That was Veronica just commenting. Am I correct?
You are correct. Yep.
That you perfectly said. But I just want to say, personally, from my lifestyle, being a military officer, dealing with the male chauvinism, everything else, and people would see, and the men would see on the outside, where she don't need me, she too independent. Truth to be said, I do want that alpha male. Okay. I do want that alpha male. I want to feel like you got my back, like the gentleman said. Yeah, I want to feel like, yeah, my man got me. It's nothing like, I want to feel like a kitten or cuddle up knowing that I got somebody that got my back. I'll let you lead all day. Just don't disrespect me or try to take advantage of that. But I want to feel like I got a strong man. And I will say, because society had evolved, I think one of the negative things of today's society, we have demasculated a lot of Black men. I feel like that, and it's like, people would say, well, why are you by yourself? I said, well, the men that I like or I want, they gone. The men out here today, they on something different. And I just chose to say, well, I'll be by myself because I know I want a strong man, and I want, not saying that he gotta take care of me because I have my own, but I just said it's not about the materialistic. Mentally, I want to feel protected. I want to feel like you got me. I want to say, you better not say nothing, I'm getting my man on you or what have you. And it's maybe childish or what have you, but that's what I want. And you don't find too many men like that today. Not all, but the ones that are, they either somewhere else or already taken, but they far few in between. Over.
Okay. Wow. All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to say that the things that he would say, I might be correct, trying to send the right message, but the delivery was problematic, especially if he said some things like, I can smell the cholesterol through the phone or through YouTube, or however he could smell it. It's ironic because that girl may have been overweight, but she's the one alive and he's dead.
Okay. Well. There you go. All right, gang. I wanna go to the chat. And Always Magnificent says, I wish he didn't generalize so much in his interviews, that he was able to create a space where a man's perspective was able to be heard without being diminished in our media. And I think that goes with what Ms. Palm was saying about emasculation. And yeah, he was a straight Black male voice. And I think that perspective is not her, but that's the perspective that's needed. Like, single Black women in large part want a Black man. They want a straight Black man to be with and to grow with. Yet we don't hear that perspective. And I'm not saying he represented like all Black men by any means, but that was a voice that was present in every barbershop that I've been in. Like, there was one person that had that perspective. But I wanna ask you all this, and for the people in the chat as well. And it is, in terms of Black male-female dynamic, do you think that his message was more beneficial, or do you think that it was more harmful? What do you think about his message? Was it more beneficial or harmful? What do people have to say about that? His message overall, his approach, everything, the whole package. What do people think?
I mean, I feel for myself, I'll just, I can only speak for myself. I mean, anything that I'm listening to is to try to better understand and to grow and to be the best person I can be and treat others the best way I know how. So the information that he gave, did it make people better? Did it make relationships better? Did it make you grow in a way that you've learned, changed, and have a healthy relationship with yourself or with whatever? Like, if you were looking to be in a relationship, did what he say further your life and make it better? Or was it just something to entertain you and then you walked away with nothing else than when you first logged on?
What do you think? What do you think about that, Mar? What do you think about those questions?
I think it all depends on who you are.
Okay.
Some people he helped, some people he probably didn't help. In a way, he sort of helped me because it helped me kind of define my values, although I didn't agree with them.
Okay.
Now somebody else, it might have helped them in some way, and other people, it might have harmed them.
Okay.
I didn't really like Kevin Samuels that much.
Okay. Okay. All right. For sure.
I mean, I think, just from like I said, I'm not proclaiming to be a Kevin Samuels expert or anything, but I am saying that I think he had a market of people that he appealed to. And clearly it was a group of people that wanted to hear something negative, controversial, something to make them think badly about the current situation, or to reinforce the current feeling about dating and in the Black community, something. Because I mean, why would you listen to something that was negative, that had no value to your life, and just keep listening and listening? But then, like Gerald said, maybe some people did get value from it.
And part of the value can be that it confirms what I already believe. That can be a value to someone. That's what the internet does. That's the problem with the internet. If you believe something, you can go on the internet and find something that confirms it. And just because something is popular doesn't make it right. And just because something is not popular doesn't make it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any
You can buy likes. You can buy 1 million likes, 1,000 likes.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you have that big a following.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think that, just a follow-up, what do you think that Kevin Samuels was confirming that people already thought? What do you mean specifically?
That women are the problem.
Oh.
That if women change, everything would be all right.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's the misogyny.
Oh, okay.
If the belief that if he was confirming a number of things, right? That's one thing. The other thing is there's a belief that Black people need more harsh treatment than other people. So it was the cruelty that people were tuning into.
Okay.
I want to see the put down was the important thing. Without that, he wouldn't have been so famous. A lot of shows are like that too.
Okay.
He wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one doing that.
Okay.
And that's exactly what I was trying to speak to. Like, why would, what Gerald just said, he said it so eloquently. Why would you tune into someone that's putting you down and listen repeatedly? Like, what is it? Do you feel like you need to be punished? Do you feel like you need to be talked to in a way that devalues you? Because that's what I felt like was happening.
Interesting. So there's that thing. Okay. So some people saying he was devaluing, and then I'm hearing from Cassandra and Theo that he was speaking the truth, and the truth is uncomfortable. So I guess in the realm of Kevin Samuels, it's those two extremes, those two opposites. Which one you sway to? I guess it depends on who you are.
So that's a bit of a stretch of what I said. I didn't say everything he spoke was the truth.
No, I wasn't saying that you said that.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that, I'm not saying everything.
You were saying that there was some benefit in the things that there's truth in that.
A few things, yeah.
There you go. And Theo, I was wondering how you feel about that, like whether or not his message was overall beneficial or harmful to Black male-female dynamic.
I think his message overall was beneficial because I watched some of the ladies' reactions to him and the response, and I'm watching them and the response to the ladies, they were getting reality checked on a lot of things. I don't think what he was saying to them was harmful. It was just served a little different. It was served straight out of the oven, right onto the table, instead of it going out of the refrigerator into the microwave and then cooling off a little bit. You know, the way men are, the way we deliver messages is a little bit different. And, you know, how often do women hear messages from guys? We always hear women's story. We know their story. When they ever hear ours, you know, we know about men doing this. We know about men not doing this. We not knowing about what's going on. We hear their story all the time. So here's a guy with a platform. Here's ladies calling them, being all that, doing all that. And he's telling them, listen, how do you rate yourself? Okay, I'm a 10. Let me look at you. I want a man making 6 figures. Why? Men don't date women making 6 figures. We date pretty women. I'm so sorry. I dated a girl who worked at McDonald's. My friends never asked me what she did for a living. The only thing they asked me was, did she have a friend? Okay? Did she have a friend? And I'm telling you, and you know I'm telling you the truth. So men don't date We don't date women that got jobs. We don't date. We date beautiful women. Talk to me. You know I'm telling you the truth. We date
He's
models.
exaggerating.
Exaggerating.
He's trying to get them likes now.
I know Cassandra now. She know I know better.
Them likes. But I do want to, so Porter, I do want to say that even though I think he was saying, a little bit of truth in there, I do think his platform was harmful for Black women and Black men relations.
Okay.
I do think it's harmful because it was so divisive.
Okay.
Now, and I don't know the statistics, the percentages or whatever. And, I think it's a good question, how many people he helped, that would be something to look at. How many people did he help out of, the thousands or whatever? Was it 20%? Was it 50%? Was it, no one knows that. But I do think he was harmful because he was so divisive. You can't have a platform and be that divisive and then say you're helping.
Okay.
Or say that you're not harmful. I don't think it works that way.
Okay.
You know what I tell my daughters? I tell them, don't put your hands on a man because I don't want him to put his hands on you. This is what I'm telling them. That doesn't sound like good advice at all, but it's the truth. I tell my daughters what they need to hear and what they need to hear to succeed out here. And if any do anything outside that, then I'll deal with that. But as a father, it's coming straight up. A lot of times, and I can't speak for everybody. A lot of times, women don't see a positive Black man in their house. Yeah, they don't see the daddy gone, baby daddy there, somebody's there stepping in the role and stuff. So yeah, a lot of women have don't have their father in their lives. So it's different, and a role model may step in, but for me to talk to my daughter, I talk to them and I tell them exactly what it is that they need as their father. Only because I love them, and it's not always good either. It's not always good because I want them to go out there. One of my friends said she was crying to her mother and said, "I can't stand you." And her mother said, "Why?" "Because you let me believe the life was so great. You never gave me anything the way it was." I told my daughter, "Look, this is the way it is out here, and you got to get used to it. You got to go out here, you got to go get your education. And if you like these dumb men, you should go ahead and be able to take care, but you need to make enough money and stuff." And that's me being real and straight up there. I don't need you to be dependent on anybody. I need you to be able to be the one, to be the breadwinner. And that's what I tell my daughter. But understand this, you in doing so, you understand that there's a certain role that a man has in your life. And you will, understand that. Because your father's a strong man, and you see what I do. You see that I work and I'm on my hustle, and that's what you need to lead toward. Then you lead toward that because I've set the example and I set the narrative for where it has to be out here. And again, me telling my daughters that, you sitting there listening to that, it's like, oh my God, why are you telling me that? Because I love her. Now these women are probably calling there. They don't have their father image. They don't have an uncle and stuff. Somebody tell them what it is. People, you know what? If you don't have anybody who's going to tell you like it is, then that person's not your friend. So you don't have nobody who's going to check you on your stuff, then that person is not your friend. Okay? Somebody tell you, girl, you out there dogging out these dudes and stuff, and you think that's cool. That ain't your friend. You ain't letting your baby daddy see him because he ain't paying child support. That ain't your friend. Okay? Somebody, oh, he ain't paying child support. That ain't got nothing to do with the man seeing his kids. Nothing to do at all. Somebody needs to tell you that ain't right. That ain't right, sister. Step up. Let that man come over there and be a father to that child and start loving that child. And maybe he will go out there and get a job. But you loved him. You loved him for whatever dirty draws and whatever he drug dealing did out there. You loved his butt. Okay. You ain't had no problem with it. Now you got a kid. Now he want to be a baby daddy. Now all that sound like uncomfortable. Now I sound like Kevin Samuels or whatever. But hey. This is the sharp reality of how I talk to my daughters.
So you do you
without the insults.
Without the insults. I want to hear from. Okay, so Theo, do you think that part of the disconnect, because there was I didn't realize how much people hated Kevin Samuels until he passed away. I knew that he was controversial. I knew that he had his detractors, but I didn't realize how intense and vitriol it was until he died, and people just my goodness. Sisters went from Michelle Obama to like Lil Durk, like overnight. It was like, wow. And I was like, oh my God. And so I'm wondering, my question to you, Theo, is that do you think that there was such a negative response to him because of that? You talk to your daughters, you're in your daughters' lives, you speak to them the way a man does. You think that maybe they don't know because the lack of fathers in the house, you just don't know how a man shows his love, and you're not comfortable with that. So when you hear it, you automatically just like kind of want to clap back. Do you think that the lack of fathers in the household has something to do with the fallout with Kevin Samuels?
Absolutely. One thing that I learned a long time ago, you have to respect the dead. I don't care what. I've been to funerals before, and the preachers or reverends say, "Hey, he was the greatest person in the world." Y'all know, I don't, before he started talking about he was a great person, whatever and stuff. But there are people out there that, let's face it, Ray and them out there doing their thing and stuff, and you can't say nothing great about them or whatever. But you still don't say anything bad about the dead. You know what? We're all gonna die because you died. It doesn't mean that that's God getting you karma or nothing like that. We all gonna pay the price. We come here and we leave and we check out dates. So guess what? We're all gonna do it. So when we do it, none of us ever know. So it's not, death is not a bad thing. Okay, we all gotta pay the price. That's a part of life. But for the people that say that that's what bad things about a dead man, no, that's terrible. That's terrible. You don't say nothing bad about the dead. The dead is dead. You don't have anything good to say. You don't say nothing bad at all about a man that's passed away. You know what? If you didn't agree with him, you didn't like him, guess what? That's fine, and that's okay. But to say negative and bad things about somebody that passed away, that is terrible. I wasn't raised that way, and so it's really shocking and appalling to see people say things about a person after he's passed away. It's very shocking and stuff. So it made me think, but maybe he did it. Maybe there was some truth about some of the things he was saying about some of these people out there. And I think people who may have said something sparingly probably didn't watch him very much, and probably the people that watch and probably was insulted, because people allow themselves sometimes to find themselves interacting what's going on with somebody else.
Okay, all right, for sure. Respect. Jared, were you about to say something?
I don't know. I thought a minute ago I was. It's all good though. I like what Theo had to say. He's actually talking about the problem, right? Raising his daughters. He's telling his daughters to go out and earn a living so they can take care of themselves. And then Kevin Samuels is coming behind him saying women got to be subservient to men, and that career women are not as desirable.
Okay.
So that's creating a conflict. So that's some of the harm, right, that I see. Okay. Right. And then there's some other things, he was using like a European standard of beauty and, giving advice and all that. The advice is problematic. Success is idiosyncratic. You can be fat and in a happy marriage. You can be broke and in a happy marriage.
Okay.
The advice I give is more about me than it is about the other person.
Okay. I got you. For sure. Let me go to the chat real quick. And we have Super Dupe Ninja, who says his conversation with Brittany Renner was civil. Brittany Renner is she's learned how to work the internet as well. So shout out to her. And then also, since when is divisive a bad thing? Pain is where the growth is, I guess. That's what the neoliberals say about the progressives. Okay. The truth is divisive, says Marcasino. The truth is divisive. And then MF says, so it's good for Black men and women to hate each other. That's the divisiveness I don't agree with. And Always Magnificent says, every man has different criteria on what we go for. Somebody that's together. Men's voices need to be heard too. And he allowed a lane for one of those popular perspectives to be heard. All right. So shout out to my people in the chat. And then Samantha Madison says, why not speak your truth about someone, whether living or dead? Okay, so there she goes. It doesn't matter to Samantha. The truth is the truth. living or dead, it is what it is. So shout out to my people in the chat. Go ahead and like this if you have not done so already. Keep the comments coming. I have one more question just to center here, and that question is for everyone. What do you think the legacy of Kevin Samuels will be? What do you think the legacy of Mr. Samuels will be? How will he be remembered? Will he be remembered? He's going to be on an episode of Atlanta, the show Atlanta, on Thursday. Go figure. Atlanta's a really, really, really popular show. They're going to have a cameo by Kevin Samuels, so be on the lookout for that. But let me get back to it. What do you all think that his legacy will be?
Wow, he really blew up in such a short period of time.
He really did. He really did. What do you think? How do you think we'll remember him, Ms. Davis?
I don't know. I mean, let me get my thoughts together.
Okay, let's come back.
I do know what my thoughts are.
Okay, well, let's hear.
You know,
let's hear.
He will be like a name that comes up every now and again with a negative context associated with it. Okay. That's how I feel his legacy will be. It'll be just, you remember that negative, or you remember that guy on YouTube that died of a heart attack who used to, it'll be something like that.
Yikes. Okay. Okay. All right. Anyone else? What do you think the legacy of the man will be?
What's interesting, the first thing I thought of was the headlines when R. Kelly passes, what they're going to say about him. If they do that to Kevin Samuels, R. Kelly's byline is going to be, similar, which is unfortunate. I mean, not unfortunate, but I'm just saying, but it's the same thing.
Tell me the comparisons between this man, Kevin Samuels, and R. Kelly.
A lot of people still rock to his music, and everything. And so, but he's, a molester, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's going to be his lasting. Just like when Kobe passed away, some people wanted to bring up his rape allegation.
Gail.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
Who is the female equivalent? She's the female equivalent to Kevin Samuels, by the way. But
I'm saying there's always some byline attached to the death, which is unfortunate. Mm-hmm. So that's all I'm saying. So I don't know what his legacy is going to be. I don't think it's going to be lasting. I mean,
no.
And I don't know if a legacy means that it should be crossover. I think Black folks know him more than white people, so I don't know.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the crossover. I'm never concerned about white people on this show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. His legacy. If you say his legacy among
this will be clear.
Or what?
with us, you know what I mean? Like Teddy Pendergrass has a legacy. But white people don't know him.
Folks know him. Yes, they do.
That's okay. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Close the door, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, we know it. We know it. I've never heard that in an elevator. I've never heard Teddy Pendergrass at Starbucks. Stop playing. Y'all need to cut it out.
You need to get out more.
I need to get out more. Okay. Anyway, it's my fault. White people love Teddy Pendergrass. Get out of here. White people love Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. I'm not trying to hear that, man. All right, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. The legacy of one Kevin Samuels. What do people think the legacy will be? I've heard people say thus far that there won't be a legacy. It sounds like people are saying like we'll forget about him pretty soon. Is that?
I think so.
Okay, because the person that doesn't want their names saying it says that they think that he won't be remembered. Anyone else on that? What do you think the legacy of the man will be?
Yeah, I heard that Kevin Samuels got his start in music, rose to fame as a musician. Is that true? Is that how people got to know him?
I've not heard anything like that. He was in sales. He worked in corporate America, and he actually had his podcast for a few years, but he was only giving advice to men, and it didn't blow up. And once he started to give advice to women, then it blew up. So that's his history. I don't know of him being involved in music in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, the legacy. How do you think this man, Kevin Samuels, will be remembered? Anyone else on that question?
I think it's a lot. I think he offers a lot for us to learn, right? I don't think we need to just like let him die without thinking about what he was talking about, how he was doing it, who he was talking to, what we can learn from it. I'm not ready to just like bury him and leave him alone. You know, I think I'm learning a lot from Kevin Samuels. You know, I think other men can learn a lot from Kevin Samuels.
I'm trying to figure out, Gerald, what do you feel that he can't die? I mean, what can't die about him? What can we learn from him? I would love to pull anything out that I could actually use in my real life.
Well, I think that he voiced a popular view. I don't know that it was accurate though, but what's the view? Well, the view is that, you know, one of the things he said is women are the issue. If women would change, I don't even know what what is a high value man? What is that?
Conversation, Gerald.
That's like on one dimension. That's like it looked to me like it was across one dimension, just income. But what is a high value man? What does that mean?
I'll tell you what a high value man is. A high value man is a man who walks in his vision.
Okay.
It's a man that he gets up every day and he knows exactly what it is he wants to do and where he wants to be in his life.
Okay.
He knows it's not about money. You know, it's about the fact that I'm good with my family. I love my family. And my daughters, my son, it's my family, my mother. My mother's 97 years old. That's my family. Okay. Yeah, I'm successful. Yeah, I've got a little something in the bank and stuff, but that's not what I put out there. What I put out there first is where I come from, what I believe in. So a high value person, I just happen to fall into that suit and stuff. Is somebody who knows who they are, and I walk in my vision. So I know exactly what it is that I want to do, and I'm doing what it is. I love my house, I love my car, I love my travel, I love my job, I love everything I do. Even the people that done me wrong, I still love them. Okay. So I can't not love somebody and hate somebody. So I get it. I understand that. So that's what a high value man. Somebody's walking in their vision.
Okay.
That's one definition. But there are many definitions. And I think that he opens up a conversation about how do you define a high value man.
But
I think that's worth talking about.
I don't
what up, baby?
I wanted to hear those answers.
Nice ride, man.
No. I feel like he just had a monologue going on. Like he didn't really want information to build a conversation. He wanted you to listen to him, take on his opinion and apply it to your life.
Right.
When who cares? I mean, opinions, frankly, are like assholes, right? Everybody has one. So it's like, why do we need to take on your opinion and apply that to our life? Why?
And also to Mara's point, when you first started this conversation, Gerald, you brought something, you know, about the algorithm and that it appeared as if he was having this podcast to generate likes or whatever. And if he was doing that, why should we have any value to his conversation then? If he was doing all of this for show, for likes, and for just a podcast. And he probably didn't even really believe this, but he was just generating volume to his podcast.
Well, I happen to agree with you on that, right? But everything has some value to it. I have to mine it to figure out what the value is. So in talking to men, he can express some things that a lot of men can't express, but that doesn't mean he's right. Like we're talking about this right now. This is a valuable conversation we're having. And nobody has to agree with me on it, but we're just talking about what is a high value man. You get to define that.
Mm-hmm. He
doesn't define that for us.
Okay, so the fact that he put it out there and generated all this may have brought some needed attention to it.
You know, nobody's all good, nobody's all bad. So if I step back and just take a look at it, I can critique it from both sides. And I think that we should.
Okay.
And I don't think that's there's anything wrong about talking about the dead. We look at literature, we look at movies, everybody's dead. We talk about it. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, it's fine talking about him or whatever. I just, his conversations that he generated. If he was just doing that for likes and a podcast.
I don't know his motivation. I don't know his motivation.
Money.
No, I'm saying if the algorithm was doing all of that, you first started with that kind of like put that thought
what I mean is that the algorithms push up content that is controversial. It selects that over other types of content because they figured out that generates more engagement. We are talking about it right now. We're engaging in it because he got pushed higher up in some other post. Mm-hmm. And that's because he was controversial. I think he knew that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to speak to what Mara was saying as far as what positive can be taken from his message. But first, shout out to my people in the chat once again. Like this if you've not already done so. Please subscribe to this channel. I see Nisi has made her way into the chat, and Nisi says, was taken aback by a great deal of his content. Nevertheless, RIP to Kevin Samuels. I appreciate what Brother Chambers said about adaptation. Both Black men and women are able to do more today than in the past. And then Always Magnificent says, the simple human minds cannot seem to appreciate a comprehensive humanity and separate the romanticism versus vilification, unfortunately. Except there was something positive about the man, even if you hate him. Nisi goes on to say, there used to be a common adversary. And I like that. I would rather have the problem of a two-person income, financially stable home than having the problem of getting the neighbor down from a tree because he had too much land. Oh, okay. All right. For sure. So I like what Nisi said though about there used to be a common adversary, because I feel like the most significant issue facing the Black community right now is the poor Black male-female dynamic. I put that over everything. It is bad. I've only lived one life, but I feel like it's worse than it's ever been in my life. I can't speak to it from a historical perspective, but I know it's really bad right now.
Yep.
And so go ahead.
We're not going to improve it by putting down either party.
Okay.
That's not going to happen. That was the problem, the competition.
And that's the thing, Kim, and I'm not saying that he was going to do that, but that's the thing. He could have had a platform where he used that to bring us together. Even some of the stuff that I was like hearing Theo say about I'm the man, am I going to protect you? Like, I just hear so much of like us. I mean, like you, me, you. I mean, what about us? I mean, what about together? You win together versus like separate, I mean, maybe I'll protect you, and you can protect me. It doesn't have to be that it's me, I'm the head, you're behind. What about right here? I got your back. Maybe, maybe I can protect you sometime,
Okay. It depends on who gets to the gun first.
I mean, in a modern relationship, your wife may make more money than you. She might be more, and I can just talk about my own marriage. In my marriage, my wife is the famous one.
There you go.
And I'm not Ike Turner. We're not competing. I don't have any problem with that. I ain't a punk. I ain't a sissy. I'm a man. I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
That's called thriving. Okay. That's what that's called. That's what the relationship is supposed to do.
Okay.
When I first got married, I came home and I gave my wife my check. Okay. My wife was very good with money. She knew her credit was good, and she taught me about money. She taught me about credit. She taught me about business. She was intelligent. She taught me about that. So I didn't have a problem with the whole entire household. It all goes into the kitty. It ain't you make more money than me, I make more money than you. We're as one. This is our money. This is for our family. This is for our growth. You're supposed to be able to build with a man, not build him. All right? You
Yeah.
don't build me because when you start building somebody, you start taking me down. You can take a good man down, but you're supposed to be there to build with me. We build things together. We share things together. We did things together. That's what you do when you with the man or us together, as Miss Davis says. We build together. We don't tear each other down. We build together. We are as one. We're as one. And when we come together, we're as one. We come together intimately. We are as one. And that's the way it is. We are as one. I got mine. You make more money. You don't make more money than me. You're my family. You know, I don't make more money than you. You're my wife. This is your money. It's not my money. It's your money. It's our money. There ain't no such thing as that's my car. That's your car. When you if you don't think that's true, step into the divorce court and you'll find out differently and stuff.
Right. Right, Theo. Right.
You'll
Right.
find out differently. It's our. You know what? I don't get a chance. Well, Your Honor, I bought this big house myself. Oh, really? Yeah. And I want to keep it myself. No, that ain't how it work, bro. That ain't how it work. It ain't how it work. She gonna get it. And guess what? Once upon a time, you love this woman, and you told your friends, I would give her anything she wants. Now you're getting divorced. Now you don't give her a darn thing she needs. Hello? How is that possible? You give that woman everything she wants today, and when you divorce her, you give her everything she wants at the end because that's the promise you made. I don't care because she cheated on you. She slept with your best friend, Gerald. I don't care if she did anything. That's what you do. That's what you are as one. That's the truth. Now, it's changed a little bit, but you are as one. It's one person, one income, one kitty. Everything is one. What about his legacy? I think his legacy will probably go on a little further and stuff because people are trying to find out about him. I think as long as you don't have a connection, as you say, with the white audience and stuff, they ain't gonna need to tear it down. It won't be Michael Jackson. It won't be R. Kelly. It won't be anything like that because he's not a crossover down there. He'll grow within the Black community, and his legacy will be built up because people now are finding out more and more about him and stuff. He'll probably grow a lot larger than he did while he was alive because that's how we are. We have growth within ourselves, within the Black community. We've always had growth. We've always had, way before we had Oklahoma, we had other places that thrived and stuff for Black people and stuff. We always had our own. We always supported our own and stuff. So his legacy will be within ourselves.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that. And then let me double back. So people were saying that it wasn't about unity. And then in the chat, Samantha says, I know that's right, Gerald and Marl, it's all about partnership. So I'll say that like his whole thing was he wanted to clap back. I mean, you're right, Mar. He felt like the conversation had been so centered towards the women and that everything was wrong with men. And so he, instead of, trying to necessarily bring people together, he was like, hold on, this is the perspective from a man and you're going to hear this whether you like it or not. So I think that was his whole thing. He brought up, as an example, I see Gerald wants to say something, but real quick, he brought up Alice Walker wrote The Color Purple. And he brought up The Color Purple, and he brought up at the time when it came out, it was controversial, like Black men had a problem with it. And he said that was an extremely harmful book because it just depicted marriage as this super abusive and brutal thing, and all the male characters were depicted very poorly. And it was from a Black woman's perspective. He talked about waiting to exhale. He talked about those things as well. And so he was like, where is the men's perspective? And his whole thing was trying to provide that. Maybe if he would have had years more, maybe he would have done more to bring people together. But I think he was solely like, hold on, this is our turn. No, I think it came from a vindictive place, a lot of it. I think ultimately he did want love and unity to bring us together, but I think he was just like, but first you gonna learn today. I think that's a lot of what he was want to do. Yeah. Yes. What's going on, Gerald? What's up, my guy?
Well, I think he, I don't know what the hell his motivation was. I don't know what
maybe
he
we'll
was
never
thinking.
know, but you can
Yeah,
speculate.
I don't know. But I think that, and this is not popular. This is not. But when white people leave the room, a brother becomes the cracker.
Oh no! Oh no!
So there was a lot of that going on too. That judging women on a different standard, right? So he's looking at facial figures. Who did that? Slaveholders did that. Facial figures, beauty. Your face is too round. You weigh too much. You could be a linebacker. That kind of stuff. And you could tell people the truth without insulting them.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that part I didn't really appreciate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're talking about that right now. I think the panel understands that some of the stuff, it's entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And the entertainment feature is that I want to see the insult. I want to see the put down. That's why I'm tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like women ain't, women are this or women are that, right? And so that confirms what I believe. That doesn't necessarily, he don't speak for all men.
Of course
That's
not.
his opinion.
Of course.
That's his opinion. Right?
Of course. I would say to that, when you have someone like, I don't know, Alice Walker or Gail, Oprah's homie, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who also she spoke ill about Kobe, she spoke ill about some other people, they disrespect Black men, like and they've made a career out of it as well. They're going to do a remake, they're working on a remake of The Color Purple right now.
Wow.
And so do we right now? Yes, like right now. Like I swear. And so do we have you say that when a white man leaves the room, a Black man becomes the cracker, as you say. Okay. I don't feel like we have that same heat for the Black women that have made a career out of disrespecting Black men. I don't think we have that same energy for them. I don't see them being called out in the same way. I see them being celebrated. And if you have anything against them to say, then you're a misogynist. There's a woman, she's a feminist. Her name is Bell Hooks. Her name is Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks wrote Bone Black. Bell Hooks had some atrociously negative things to say about Black men, about us being weak and about us being absent and about just she had extreme discontent for Black men. But when she passed away, either early this year or late last year, no, I didn't hear anybody come with that heat. I didn't hear anybody call her out for doing those things. And so I think as Black men, we call Black men out for, as educated, conscious Black men, we do a lot of calling out of one another, but I don't see that happening when Black women disrespect Black men. And
they called Gail out when she talked about Kobe.
I'm not so sure we do all that much calling out of each other. We get a lot of bad information from other men. I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
I call people out too often.
You just called out Black men, straight Black men, mind you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I need to be called out now. Don't think I don't need to be called out. I do need to be called out. But Gail
was called out though.
Go ahead, Cassandra. Cassandra says
Gail was called out for that.
Gail was called back. There was pushback against Gail.
Yeah,
I will concede that is true.
There
was definitely pushback against Gail. I will say that. Haven't heard any pushback against Alice Walker or the sister, or Bell Hooks.
Yeah, I didn't know about Bell Hooks. I'm a Bell Hooks fan. I'll have to go back and read some of that. I didn't realize she was that bad against men.
Oh no, Cassandra, you said something about R. Kelly. Was he convicted of being a pedophile?
Oh yeah.
He's in jail now.
No,
we're not going to get on that.
No, I'm just saying. You said he's
convicted.
Where you going with this? Hold on. Where you going with this? Where you going with this, Theo? And are you calling from Chicago? No, I'm just playing.
I am calling from Chicago. I'm calling from Chicago.
You calling from Chicago?
Yeah, I'm calling.
Okay, it's all making sense now. It's all.
You said something about Dirk too. We're gonna have to talk about that too. That's my boy, man.
No, I'm just saying, no. I fool with Lil Durk's music, but he talks about smoking his ops. You know that. You know they talk
that's
about the dead. I'm just saying that's a Chicago
he's a
thing.
friend of mine, man. So
Look,
he lives in Atlanta now, but he's a friend.
Shout out Lil Durk. Shout out Lil Durk and the whole crew. But you cannot. That's not subjective. He is a rapper, and he talks about smoking Tuka. That's their thing. I'm saying that's their thing. That's all.
I know. You're right.
Shout out Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. My brother had to defend Kales, okay, and Lil Durk. Okay, Chicago in the building. But did you have anything else to say on that, Theo?
No, but what I'm saying is that she tore R. Kelly down. Gail did, and she tried to go out to Kobe. And people thought, again, you respect the dead is a little bit too insensitive, and they called her on and stuff. She couldn't go far with that because he wasn't even fresh in the ground before she started trying to tear him down and stuff. Right. I think that we have a tendency to not allow the Black man to be anything, not allow him to be a martyr. If I go back as far, I know Gerald mentioned something about slavery and stuff. If you go back as far as Nat Turner, who was the abolition led the largest slavery revolt in history for the Black Revolution.
Yep.
When he died, believe it or not, this man was responsible for 324 lives. Okay, they didn't, and they captured him. They didn't kill him right away. They kept him for 45 days alive. Okay, this man killed white folks. Okay. Not only did they do that, they studied and wanted to know what made him think the way he thought. Okay, and then when they did kill him, they made sure they tore his total body apart, piece by piece. There's not a part where you can go down there and praise him at all. Going back to the point now, they're never going to allow, they haven't allowed us to ever have somebody that we can reach out to. They've done it to Michael Jackson. They've done it to OJ. They know we can have money, but we can't have mortal success. And again, they're doing it. Kevin Samuels walks on his own because he's not a part of that crossover anyway. So they won't touch him.
Okay.
They won't touch him because there's no need to touch him and stuff. So he may, like I said again, he may be able to grow a lot larger than most of the other people that I mentioned and stuff.
Okay.
It's just that they don't want us to celebrate. The only good show we have on television, it was a Good Times. That was based on Chicago projects, Cabrini Green. Dynamite, hey, what's that all about, And they showed the Cosby Show. They showed two successful parents with mixed kids that had problems and stuff. And that's probably about the only positive show. I know I'm not trying to change the subject and stuff that we have down there that support Black families, support Black people with problems and stuff. So getting back to again, we know women's story. Yeah, the Black man ain't this, he ain't that, he absent, all stuff. But who tells our story? Name some guys that have a platform to tell our story. If we don't run after people, like you said, the young lady passed away, we don't run back then. We always just take our medicine. We take our medicine, we accept responsibility for it and stuff. We just push on. That's just who we are as men. We accept it. We've always accepted those things and stuff. We don't run around, oh my God, you hear what she said? We accept it, But the women out here are vicious. You go out here to a bar, these women come out there with no money, they sit down next to you, hold your conversation, and get a drink. All right? They get a drink from you and stuff. They out here playing that game, They're not interested in stuff. Women will date you and go out with you, and no goodness well, they're not interested in you. What do you do that at? So somebody needs to tell our platform. Somebody needs to tell our story.
Okay, so there you go. So Kevin Samuels was telling our story. I see people. I got people on the East Coast, man. People getting tired and all that type of stuff. So I will not hold people for much longer.
I mean, I would like to say something to what Theo said, though.
Okay.
I mean,
let me set you up. Let me set you up, Mara. Let me set you up. We also got Kiki to join a little late. Hey, Kiki, how you doing? So I'm gonna start wrapping this thing up. I will let the young lady Mara speak. It's going down in the chat. Marie says Roger Bell Hooks and Alice aren't talking about decent men like you. Appreciate it. Nisi says RIP to Kevin Samuels. The Sour Patch Kids are starting a podcast. First, they will tell their audience that they are scientifically the least attractive of the races. Then they will tell them they want to build their community. Very, very, very Interesting. Okay. So all right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Before you go, I'm going to end this soon. I'm going to get a few more comments from our panelists, and then I'm going to end this. Thank you all so much for staying on with us. Like this. I only see 7 likes. I want to see more likes, and then subscribe to the tribe, please. I'll have so much dope content coming. I want to thank our panelists for sure. Thank you all for being on the call. That's right. I see you, Mara. I see you, Jason, Theo. Welcome, Kiki, Gerald, Cassandra, and SAS. And let's get a few more comments, and I'm going to let people lay it down or go to the club, go to the bar, go try to find you a high value man, whatever. But first, let's hear Mara. What's up, Mara? Go right ahead.
The only thing I was going to say is with Theo's comment about women come to the bar with no money, they expect. It's unfortunate. You know, you got, and that's not just Black women, that's white women, that's Asian women, that's Hispanic women, that's women. Like, if you're of the mindset to take from somebody, that's just you. But then there are women that would buy you a drink, or a woman that would ask you a question to engage you, you know? So it's like, there's all kinds of women. It's just unfortunate that the ones that do the most damage are the ones that men tend to focus on and say that's how women are.
Ooh. I heard that. I heard that. Ooh, Mara coming with the heat.
And I did want to comment and just say, like, I think there are some good examples of Black men, like the Wood. I think like the examples of like Boys in the Hood in terms of like the community, you know, the father, Lawrence Fishburne's
His name was Furious. Furious was the character.
I mean, what's that one where it was Morris Chestnut, Taye Diggs?
You talking about Taye Diggs, The Best Man?
Yeah, so Best Man 1 and 2. I think those showed some different angles of Black men too.
But I think Theo's talking about television shows, not movies, but the sitcoms, the TV shows.
Right, television show. Yeah,
And
we don't see those only once in a while.
And him being a Chicago representative, he brought up Good Times. He brought up Good Times, which was in Cabrini Green. And Good Times started out when it was focused on a strong Black father. And then they realized that JJ, who was, like you said, Theo, dynamite and just like kind of a buffoonish character, they killed off the father and focused the whole show on JJ. And so they took the strong Black father out of the show, which kind of mimicked what was happening in real life at that time. So
that's so unfortunate, you know.
Very,
and he's still very successful now too. JJ still doing commercials, still doing comedy shows.
Still doing his thing, man. That's
they have rewarded him for everything he's done.
Okay, for sure. That's what's up, man. Jimmy Walker, shout out to Jimmy Walker. It looks like Kiki, did you want to hop in? You good? I'm sorry, Kiki. Not even trying to put you on the spot. It's all good. Glad you're here. Anyone else have anything to say in closing before we wrap this thing on up? Any final words from our panelists?
More. Where can I come meet you and get you to buy me a drink? At what bar can I meet you at?
Yeah, that, you know what, Mara, that doesn't happen a whole lot with the women.
Yeah, where can I fly and meet you at? Where can I meet you at? Tell me about it.
You know, so I live in Alexandria.
Maybe it's me.
You live in Alexandria, Virginia. Where can I? Yeah, let me know when I come out there and let you buy me a few drinks. You hear that?
Yeah. He said a few. That's a high value man.
Not one,
not cheap.
2, 3.
He's not cheap, man. That's not a cheap date right there.
I mean, yeah, I want to see this. So, you know, I want to see. Let me know. You know, let me know.
You gotta get in line. I've been waiting for Mara for long.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, Mara's in very high demand. Okay, fellas, calm down.
Okay,
calm down, fellas. Cut it out. Cut it out, man. We're keeping it PG here. My goodness, this is not Tinder. Go ahead, Gerald. You.
I was just gonna say thank you, Roger, for pulling us all together, and the panel, man. This was a challenging conversation to have, right? And we did keep it respectful, and I just really appreciate that. Appreciate meeting everybody, and thanks again for a wonderful evening and conversation.
Absolutely.
I
Much
agree with
respect,
Gerald.
much
It was
respect.
wonderful.
Okay, for sure, for sure. Much love and respect. I appreciate you all for coming and staying on the call. For my people that are watching the YouTube right now, I had some trolling happening early on, and I accidentally blocked some of you that are legitimate humans and wanted to join the call, but I had some immature stuff happening in the beginning. So yeah, next time I will try to be more mindful and give everyone a shot. So no disrespect intended, but please, we will have more chats, and please, I would love to have you on for the next time. Okay. So listen, if there is nothing else, is there anything else? Going once, going twice?
I didn't get acknowledged to be a first-time caller, man. What's wrong, man? What's up with all
Listen,
that? Some
man,
Chicago
listen,
hate, man? What's going on?
Chi-Town Theo in the building, man. Shout out to Theo, first time caller, man. Appreciate the brother being on the call. We always got to have a Midwest representative. Always, it's not official if we don't have anyone from the Midwest. So Theo made it official. Shout out Kiki, also a first time caller. Appreciate you joining. And then SAS Palm, straight out of Southeast DC in the building. Appreciate you. I can't see her face, but she is on the call. And of course, Kassan, the person that doesn't want me to say.
Oh, come on! I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
That's because she white. You know that, right?
Oh my God! You know what? We don't even have enough time for this foolishness. African American Queen Nefertiti Cassandra, who you cannot see.
She a white girl.
I can feel the melanin.
There you go.
Cassandra is definitely
like the whatever that girl's name is on the Black Lady sketch show.
Oh,
hey, what's her name?
I don't know. You talking about the biracial one, the one from Iowa? I don't know.
No, the Black Lady sketch show on HBO. You ever seen?
Is it Robin Thede? Robin Thede?
Yeah, she's from Iowa.
But
she's biracial from Iowa.
Plays whatever her African name is.
She does that African character.
Yeah, you talking about the Hertep? A Hertep?
Yeah.
Right. But you know she is biracial from Iowa. I
didn't know that. I didn't know that she was biracial. Wow.
Yes, she is. All right, for sure. Shout out to SAS Poem to Jason as well, man. Appreciate you, brother, and appreciate everybody being on. Everybody in the chat, man. Come back, subscribe to the tribe, man. I am Roger Porter. I am your gracious host. Listen, there's an email going around, man. There's an email going around. Mara is here because she got an email. If you want to join the email list, Gerald Chambers is here because he got the email as well. If you want to be on the email list, go ahead and message awkwardblacktribe@gmail.com. awkwardblacktribe@gmail.com. Appreciate you all. Support Gerald too, man. He's a real therapist. He does Zoom stuff.
He's a real therapist.
So no, he's got a license. He's a licensed marriage and family therapist. He's a licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm just saying.
Your practice?
I'm online out of California.
He's out of California, but he's online, man. You can.
But I can only practice. You got to reside in California though, because I don't have a license to practice outside of California.
So you just get a California address. I got you. No, just. What'd you say?
Say I'm in California. I'm in Monterey.
Okay, so Ms. Palm she's in Monterey, but she's straight out of Southeast. Don't get it twisted. She will hurt you. No, I'm just playing. All right. So all right. Look, man, that's it, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace, tribe.
Right.
And another one, man. Peace.